All right, so I guess we might as well get into step by step what happened with the Pump.Tires launch over the weekend and just what we feel the goal is here with this happening out of nowhere. RH tweeted about it. It was very odd. I mean, nobody saw that and was just like, oh, just another ho-hum Richard Hart tweet. I mean, this is the kind of thing he does. The guy doesn't like link sites like that. You know what I mean? When it comes to crypto. And I sent it to you and you were like, oh, I think he's probably hacked. And you were the only one. I mean, a lot of people were saying it. And then he continued to tweet about it. And I don't remember all of the tweets. You can bring up some of the initial ones. I think I sent them to you. But this kind of just stealth launched on Saturday night. We saw a selection of tokens that were already created, including the most wanted token, which is probably by far the best meme that's been created on the chain. The actual pump token and stuff like that. So some interesting stuff there, but many thought this was a hack. Clearly it was not. Multiple coins created already associated with the main wallet. If you want, and there were a lot of opinions on this at first. I'm trying to get my mind. It's so much has happened in the last 3 days that I'm in trouble getting my mind back into what people were thinking when this first happened. But so RH at some point tweeted, Pump.Tires code brings adoption, ease of use, fresh eyes, and excitement to a superior ecosystem, leading people to PulseX and Pulse Chain. If you prefer, people launch their coins with native liquidity. And here is the key. So here is I think there's two main reasons that he did this, and we can get into this. But number one, I think it is good when somebody realizes that their vision has to change a little bit. And Richard Hart isn't a meme lord now and only cares about memes and thinks that everything else is bullshit. I'm not saying anything like that. But kudos to anyone who is able to eventually change their mind. That's why when people like, I hear Joe Rogan talk about this often, and I do agree with him on this, is like, I hate the term of flip-flopping. It's like, no, I gained more information and I learned more, so I changed my opinion.
Yeah.
Now politicians, of course, do lie, but with Richard, it's like, all right, I just witnessed 2024. It was a complete shit show, but meme cycle on Solana and stuff like that. With this chain, and there's many other things up his sleeve that we know about and that are far more bullish than Pump.Tires, but in addition to needing just crypto as a whole to go up, he saw this, I think, pivoted a little bit to say like, hey, why not throw this ingredient in there too? And the key here is Pump.Fun. Those tokens are all tied to liquidity to stable coins. So what he's saying here is tying it with native liquidity instead of a stable coin, enticing them to buy native tokens like Ethereum or Pulse Chain instead of stable coins. Then it's handy for them to have an easy site like Pump.Tires to be able to do so. Not a fan of the name, by the way. If you prefer celebrities or communities launch their coins on your chain and buy your native instead of someone else's chain and their native coin, it's real handy to have code templates like Pump.Tires code to be able to do so. Do you prefer the next massive coin launch on the chain that you love or somewhere else? People should appreciate the hard work of others provided to them for free. Well done, Pump.Tires dudes, whoever they may be. So what do you make of this? And that's really him. I mean, obviously, to me, it's clear what it is. I mean, he wants to bring more volume to the chain. He's got that. Pulse Chain has become a top 4 chain in volume in the world now after this. We've seen that happen, and it's burning away lots of Pulse and making the supply more scarce. And I think it's overall net good. I mean, I never thought anything negative about it. I know some people did at first, and they've come to an understanding now. But there's still people out there that are just like, he's lost the plot. What's this guy doing? I don't understand that take at all. I mean, he's not advocating, I don't think, for like go buy a bunch of memes or whatever.
No,
but yeah, I think this is good. But what do you think?
I think so. When we look at, let's actually share this instead, and we'll see how it works.
There you go.
This is the features, right? So, a couple different things. There is the tie to Pulse Chain. All right. So when you launch a coin, it immediately ties the bonding curve to Pulse, right? As the price increases according to the curve, obviously, it says when the coin reaches the end of its bonding curve, it automatically then launches on PulseX. This isn't what I thought I saw earlier. Here it is. Pump.Tires code feature is a unique burn mechanism where coins can be burned for a portion of the underlying pulse before it graduates to PulseX. So In my opinion, I think what he thought was the Pulse chain wasn't, you know how Ethereum became somewhat deflationary as far as fees go,
Yeah.
those type of things where it was actually not minting as much as it was using per day. So thus becoming deflationary. Well, I think it wasn't moving fast enough. PulseX already has an incredible buy and burn function where we've burned what I mean, I already closed that window, but probably 6 trillion tokens already since its launch. I think this just amplifies the Pulse side of things to burn more of those, because on Solana, the mechanism that's used, those tokens that are burned here actually get paid to the platform people over there, and then they just end up dumping that Solana on the market. So that's the big difference between the two. This one burns it instead of paying it out to the creator, and thus helping price eventually. A burn function isn't going to help your price immediately. It's going to take time for that to happen, to slowly reduce the supply, things like that, where it does become eventually more rare. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's a great feature. That it's just one more thing to burn more tokens. So I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm with you. I agree 100%. I mean, like, I'm not interested in the platform. I know you speculated whether you want to talk about this or not, that you may have bought a certain token on there today, and it's not on there, but one of the tokens that was launched from there. Yeah, I definitely think it's a net positive. I understand people being like, "What is this?" I mean, I didn't expect this. I did not have this as part of the plot that all of a sudden we would see Richard tweet about this on Saturday night. I did not expect this whatsoever. I didn't expect it to be called
Was
Pump.Tires.
not on your bingo card?
No, it was not. I hate
No.
saying that because so many people say that phrase, so I purposely didn't say that. But yeah, it's just it's interesting. It's a very interesting development. I think that it is good though. I mean, it's more activity on the chain, and I think we'll get away from it. I mean, I think this is going to help pump the core tokens, and we're going to see everything start to come back into core tokens. So. Yeah. So there's another interesting development kind of about this that I wanted to talk to you about. So we have sorry, I'm just trying to catch up because there's so many things happening. So let me see. We already talked about how this can work better than Solana's with the liquidity being tied to Pulse. Oh, and the main thing here that everybody started to talk about. Well, here, let me see what this tweet is you put up. You could probably think of a
yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, so this is RH the other day. You can probably think of a recent coin launch that murdered the price of nearly all other coins across the chains. When coins that launch are tied to stable coins for liquidity, people must trade their SOL for stable to buy the new coin. This murders the Solana price. And if other chains bring in Solana to buy it, it murders the price of the other chains that bridge in to swap for the new coin with liquidity and stable coin. Thus, if you prefer native coins to go up, then new coins should have liquidity in native coins instead of stables. When people launch new coins that you can only get by buying native first, because that's what their liquidity is in, it gives people reasons to buy the native. Pump.Tires does it better. So, I mean, I definitely think that is awesome, and I'm totally in favor of it. And the other thing that we kind of already drummed on this tonight, but it was in my notes. The other thing people started to bring up is how confident is he that this case is over? I mean, you don't do something like this. I mean, he's already been talking like very bullishly and feeling very good about things, but to do something like this and launch. So we haven't talked about the actual token very much yet, but to launch the most token, which is literally a picture of his face from the Interpol Red Notice. The banner on Dex screener is him with whatever that weird ass outfit is he had on, where he has like an old timey like woman's bonnet on or something that I guess was stylish somewhere once. With
Burberry.
Burberry with a jail cell on him. It's a great. I mean, it is a fantastic meme. It's fucking awesome, and I mean, it's a gigantic fu. I mean, you do not do something like that if you're not feeling pretty good, I would say. So, yeah, I mean, how do you feel about that? I mean, to me, the guy seems to have no doubts whatsoever about what's happening. I just don't know what exactly he knows that we don't, and when the timeline for this event is. That's all,
Yeah, no, I agree. He's got to be somewhat confident in something. I was saying to you, the other day when we heard this stuff coming out. I'm like, he's got to know something, or his lawyers really think something,
Yeah.
in order for him to come out like this or whatever. Some of the wallets are obviously being traced or speculated back to him anyway. He's talking great things about it, but then at the top it says, warning, Pump.Tires hasn't and will not have an official social media account. Anyone pretending to be Pump.Tires on social media is an imposter. So this is where you and I are at total odds,
And there's
because
been a development as we've been speaking, but go ahead.
yeah, I saw you sent it to me,
Okay.
I think. So your opinion is that he's got to be the one behind the X account that is Pump.Tires. And I'm spotting some things in some of these tweets that I think Richard's probably smarter than that. He knows the difference between there, which is their possession, and there over there.
He has
Like
typos all the time. He has typos in his tweets all the time because he's just
there
firing stuff off.
there are other things, little things that I've noticed, just with spelling, punctuation. It's just Richard's very, very intelligent, and unless he's doing it on purpose, which I don't think he does, um, I don't think it's him. I don't think it would be that hard to study Richard's tweets, go back and see how he's talking about this coin, and write a completely different tweet about another coin, and speak in a very similar method.